would be, if you look at the stuff that's down below that you saved, there are several items in there that will become part of this work plan, particularly when it comes to communication with our citizens, both asking them what sort of services do they want us to do, and how are we effectively communicating to them what we are doing.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, thanks for that input. Open to everybody else. Okay, as Tony has said before, silence is golden. And by the way, if you want to come back and look at this at a later time, you certainly can. But I am trying to do my best to keep you from having to do that and, just do a lean process. You guys actually did some really good rewriting on this one already. Do we need to do anything else with it?
Yes, I'd like to speak to number 3, please.
Let's hear it.
The number 1 goal when we were outdoor billing was to limit growth. So I would like to say while limiting growth, not while still growing responsibly, but while limiting growth.
Okay, that's one position. Does anybody have a different position, or do we make that change?
I don't like to say that we're going to limit growth.
Yeah, I think we should say growing responsibly is sufficient, because that in itself responsible growth could also mean limiting growth.
Right.
Just doing it right.
I would remove the word still, though, because
I think that would help.
we have,
Right, yeah.
if we have to grow, then we're going to make sure we're growing responsibly. And then I would also wonder if there's anything we can add to this in terms of our natural resources, maintaining small town character and historic preservation and natural beauty or something, because that comes out a lot. Our character, the historic character, our trees.
The walkability, that kind of thing.
Well, and you guys are talking about, again, adding a bunch of stuff in there, but these are, everything you just mentioned is called out in the tactical list.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your goal. I kind of go back to the throw in everything in the kitchen sink. And remember, council will see the work plans, and if there is a glaring gap, you can say, hey, you guys forgot this, bring it back with that addendum.
Robin, I also think that would be under number 1 to some extent as well, with tree and tree canopy. Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, yeah, because I think people care about our maritime character, they care about our historic structures and all of that, and they care about the trees and the forests and still seeing that.
Yeah, I think that trees are going to be would be underneath both 4 and 3.
Okay, I mean, it is part of small town character, so maybe it's covered. Thank you, Katrina.
Well, I'm glad you
The more
brought that up, Katrina, that the trees really would be covered under number 4. But yeah, I think it would be covered under 3 and 4. Still great input. This is great. Other comments about this? Somebody said taking the word out still. I didn't hear anybody object to that, so I removed it.
I agree with that. And I also think that Council Member Denson's comment about preserving trees can be interjected here somewhere down the road in the committee work plan or something, because I think that is something we need to restore, maintain and preserve, as well as our historic character. So I'm in agreement. I don't know if it necessarily needs to go into that number 3 statement, though.
The more that we are discussing these, the more that I'm seeing that the work plans will flesh out a lot of this and may result in an addition of a word tree or park or something in a goal, but this provides an overarching piece of work.
I'm fine.
Mary, that is the perfect explanation of a priority goal. Really big umbrella. And yes, you're 100% right. The details will be in the work plans, and they will go before you, before instituted, and you will be, you'll look at it and maybe even conduct a little bit of a gap analysis. Because you've got a whole list below here of really important tactical things, and everything that somebody has said to add to is actually already in that list. So I just can't believe it would fall through the cracks. Clearly important, but any other comments on number 3 before we run to number 4? Okay. Let's take a look at number 4. Work on a climate action plan.
I kind of think we should say create a climate action plan. I don't want to just work on it. I want
I
to,
have to agree with that, Robin. We don't have one.
let's work on, let's do one.
And I think it also should maybe say create a climate and sustainability action plan.
I like that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that really goes to environmental impact.
I'm just curious, probably my ignorance, but sustainability of what? Should
Trees
we
would be
call
one
out
thing.
what it's, or sustainability?
Sustainability is a green term that's been around for some time, but it's really taking hold with climate issues and the idea of sustainability. So there would be people that would say gas-powered cars are not sustainable, and we're going to run out of that natural resource. But electric is, and I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just, it's a good question, and I want to give an example, then I'll allow anybody else to chime in, where electric is renewable, and that would be considered sustainable.
Also, you
Thank-
take a tree
thank
out,
you.
you put a tree in. That's
you.
sustainable as well.
No, good question. There's so many different terms, and the only reason I know anything about anything is because I work with so many different cities. I learned from you people. Anyway, so those were some really good enhancements to that. I think it's far more clear. It makes sure that the climate just isn't about warming or some of the other, the rising oceans or whatever. We're talking about things on the street in terms of sustainability within our, and that would really be in support of maintaining our small town character, because it really is the urban trees, et cetera. And the only reason I know that is because I've interviewed all the electeds. So anyway, really good optimization there. Any other comments on number 4 before we move to number 3? And the way we're going, Tracy, you could have every doggone department head do a report if you want. Or if we're pacing really well.
Great.
Shall we move to, so excellent work on number 4. Let's
Yep.
take a look at number 5. And before we call it a day and move into the end of our day, we will take one more look and accept any other. So I'm not trying to push you, and you've been so efficient in time. We're not under pressure. Number 5, develop a plan to support and enhance a dynamic and robust economy. Well, that's another one that you guys worked on and kind of optimized earlier. I think several of you kind of weighed in. I know Tony had weighed in on this. So what do you think? Is it fully baked?
Can you show us what was under econ development down below?
You
Just,
bet.
I think this is a well baked, if you want to use baked. I think that's good.
All 4 of those.
Is there
The
anything?
economic development has actually is tied with the most sub issues.
Right.
So vitality of the downtown district, increasing support for the business community, attracting more businesses, maybe some larger employers, and then maintaining and enhancing our commercial fishing industry.
Would encouraging small business fall in any one of the existing ones?
I would say it would fall under line 23, but that's me. I look at this as focused more on, in fact, I think Lee said, did you say industrial zone?
Yeah, I mean, we have a huge underused industrial zone.
Okay.
that,
That's what I'm remembering, and I forgot
Yeah.
to write zone down. So anyway, but just because I see it that way, I'm going to show you. The fact is, in this room, my opinion doesn't matter. I'm about process. I'm not about product. The title of my book, by the way, is Your Opinion Doesn't Matter. Underneath it says it's your customer's opinion that counts. Anyway,
I would agree that number 23 encompasses small businesses.
Just as
And
long as
because we have
that's-
so many of them, it focuses there too.
And that was an item that I put up there, and that's exactly what I meant.
So
That
should we maybe
have-
say our local business community? I mean, we can encourage local business, mom and pops, or we can encourage Burger Kings and McDonald's. They're our business community. Do we want to do both? I'm trying to get back into the small town feel.
You could add the word local after robust.
oh, I thought I was adding it to line 23. Do you want me to
You
add
are.
that?
Oh,
I am adding it to
I'm
line
fine with that.
23.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
I
Where
think
am
we're
I
adding
adding
it
it?
to line 23.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Which even goes more to making sure we're there for our small businesses.
exactly.
Okay, so it
I
looks
just have
like,
one more comment, please, Andrew.
yes,
uh,
Lee, you're up.
Yeah, the small businesses count, but we want a robust economy. So I think that's more robust economy is more encompassing. I think it covers the small mom and pops as well as whatever else it takes.
Well, do
more
you
breweries,
think the
more
line
distilleries.
24 covers the businesses that are above the mom and pops?
Okay,
No, that was a question.
I
not a
just wondered
statement.
if we're being redundant with saying that.
I don't know. Ask your colleagues. I'm not sure what we're being redundant on, but anybody want to chime in on that?
I'd like to keep local, so we focus
Yeah.
on what made Gig Harbor so pretty and more of a town.
And it is tactical, and you will see it in the work plans. So really good points. So we not only optimized our 5 priority goals, we also optimized some of the subheadings that will roll up under those. And by the way, when I present this report, I will actually take all those subheadings and put them as sub bullets underneath each of these goals. So you don't have to go back and forth on 2 different documents.
Andrew,
Yes, sir.
we have that column under lead. Is that something that Tony and Tracy will then fill out? I mean, assuming that was the lead department, or are we gonna, is that? the
Yeah,
next-
that's a good point. Well, really good observation, Roger. The point was that's part of SMART is to make sure that there is an assignment. And typically what you do is you assign them to the departments, and it can be more than one department.
Yeah, definitely.
And but to your point, I think that Tracy and Tony are way beyond qualified to do that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, what do you think, Tracy?
Yeah, I think between Tony and myself and the leadership staff, we can put these into the correct departments. And if council has a change to any of those, we would certainly be open to hearing any of that, but kind of give us a crack at it first, and see where it lands. And then if council has comments, once they see that quantification, then we can talk about it.
Brilliant. I always, so I'm gonna be a bit self-deprecating. I am fairly verbose. I'm a teacher at heart, and so I talk a lot. I share best practices, and you've seen 3 times I've said, Andrew, shut up. I said this to myself. I need to engage my clients. So that said, you've got this verbose, anal retentive energizer bunny. Wow. Just my poor wife, 32 years. Jeez. And if you're having a hard time reconciling that my wife and I have been together 32 years and our kids are 37 and 39, So the accountants in the room, they can't justify that, but the lawyers in the room can. Anyway, the point of all this is I learned a long time ago, usually, and I'm talking about because I serve on a lot of nonprofit committees, usually the quietest person in the room is the smartest person in the room. And so that makes me the dumbest person in the room. But I just want to kind of honor our mayor for making sure to leave room for her council and her staff to chime in. I don't know if you realize how little talking that she's done, but I just kind of want to acknowledge that that's a pretty serious leadership quality. So are we good to move on and maybe wrap this thing up?
I think we are.
Oh, so cool. So I'm going to hit the save button. I'm going to get that down. And I think I'm going to stop saving here. So we have, so we're done with all of our exercises. And you know what? We're actually only 5 minutes ahead of schedule based on the agenda. So we've done really well. We could probably do all the wrap up, not including the department reports that Tracy wants to do, but the next steps, they've already been established. I'm going to ask Tony to share that. We've actually talked quite a bit about it. My epilogue will take 30 seconds. I want to do a quick evaluation that never goes usually more than 5 minutes. It's really fast and simple. And then I'm going to ask the mayor to make closing remarks. So we've got 35 minutes left. Tracy, I kind of have to look to you to determine how we want to spend our last 35 minutes. And I'm just going to ask that we reserve at least 15 minutes for the last few things on the agenda. So that means we have 20 minutes for the reports that you were thinking about. Is that enough time?
That's more than enough time. I think if there are any other departments that council would like to hear from as far as an update, then we can certainly do that. But I told staff that they did not have to be prepared with any kind of update other than Camille. I did ask Camille to come prepared to share about our job openings, but if there are any other departments that are of concern to council, we can certainly ask for an overview update, just a high level overview update. I don't want to put any of them on the spot because I did not prepare them for that. But if you would like to have Camille share first, or Tony, would you like to share next steps first? Which would you like?
Let me just talk very briefly about next steps.
Okay.
I will be meeting with department directors. Camille will be the first one up, obviously, to walk through a rough outline of what the action plans will look like for each one of these items. From there, I'll ask the directors to flesh those out a little bit. And then we should be prepared to bring that to the council so you can see where we're going and get any course correction if we are not going in a direction you want us to go. So I would anticipate that you'll be seeing us coming to you at study sessions in mid to late February at the earliest, and probably plan on study sessions in March for us to really get all of this nailed down.
Yep. Okay, so Camille, if you could just provide an update on open positions, and obviously we can't provide names of people probably yet on some of these, but if you can just give an update on which positions have been filled or offered or all of that.
Sure, I'd be glad to. So right now we have 7 positions that are currently open, and they're all listed on our website. In fact, I posted one during break today, so you should see the new position for wastewater maintenance technician, which just got posted today, like I said. 9 positions have been recently filled and offers have been extended. So we have a IT assistant position, 2 senior planner positions, tourism assistant starts on Monday, building inspector, police sergeant admin, and then 2 maintenance techs were given verbal conditional offers on Friday. So we're moving along on a lot of these recruitments. We have, let's see here, labor position. We are going to be scheduling interviews. I just got back the SME review from the department, so we're going to be setting that up. Let's see here. We do have one additional maintenance tech positions. If we can't find somebody out of this group that we're interviewing currently, we're going to repost that position. And so because we had 3 maintenance tech positions altogether for public workshop. Lateral position is, we have 1 vacancy for police, and we have 2 people who've applied. So I'm working with Chief to set up a process to do the physical agility testing so we can get that process started. 2 positions I'm currently working on with the unions, which is the code enforcement officer and then the CSO security court split position. And then the IT systems engineer position, we're working with a recruitment firm. And so I've provided Tony and Josh and Tracy with a professional services contract so we can get the IT recruitment services kind of started on that plan too. And we won't be starting seasonal hires until mid-February. So I'm aware of that. It's on our radar. So we're going to get that going as well.
And I'll report on the city administrator
Yes,
recruitment
please.
team. It closed yesterday. We had 24 applications. I've gone through all of them, but the 3 that applied yesterday, I'll be going over those here in the next day or 2. And I'm thinking we have at least a good dozen very highly qualified individuals, several of them that I know that I think technically would be able to do the job. Fit wise, I think several of them would be a good fit, and it's just going to be a matter of who everyone likes the best. So I'm very, very encouraged.
That's great. Does council have any questions for Camille about her report?
I do.
Roger?
Of all the recruitment actions that are in the hopper, that is tentative offers, interviews coming up, are there any that aren't on the radar yet? Because I know Lee said we had quite a few people, quite a few vacancies in the city. Do these cover all the vacancies, or are there still a number out there that are just?
No, this is total vacancies. And right now, excluding the seasonal hires, there's
Right.
26 positions.
Okay.
That's all 26. So you have 3 labor positions that we'll be interviewing for. So that's 1 group of applications with 3 open positions. The maintenance tech position, there's 3 maintenance techs, 1 recruitment, but 3 open positions. So those kind of things as well.
All right, thanks.
Councilmember
yes.
Rodenberg?
Yeah, I just had a question, Camille, about the billing tech. Did I miss that? I may have not heard what you said.
So utility billing tech, we are going to be scheduling interviews with the department very shortly.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Camille or Tony?
I just want to say great job, Camille and your team on working on this. I know it's been a slog, I'll call it, but you guys have done a great job and kudos to you all.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, they are working very, very hard. So, and without full HR staff. So they are really trying and doing their best. So thank you.
It is appreciated.
Thank you very much for saying that. So Andrew, I think we're ready to move on to the evaluation, I think is what's next on the agenda. You're on mute.
Muted.
$20 more.
Man, I'm going to be losing money on this. I'd like to say I'm getting better and better. The truth is not even close. I'm not. Okay, yes. So we're going to get that. Yes, we're going to save it. And then we're going to go to our evaluation, the last spreadsheet. Okay, so this is really, and then I'll just do an epilogue really quickly. And then I'm going to turn it over to our mayor to close this out. So we've got a list of pros, what went well, kind of what we want to repeat, a list of cons, what we need to either improve on or eliminate. And we'll go back and forth. It's organic. And the idea is, and this is a time for everybody just to feel really comfortable being candid. I mean, this is the time to be straightforward. I believe in continuous process improvement. And if we don't get what's real, documented, and of course, this evaluation will be in the report, then we can't optimize. So just shout it out and say, I've got a con or I've got a pro. I can't see all of you. I've only got one deal, but I think Lee just popped up.
I didn't mean to, but I do have a pro.
Okay.
I really appreciated you, Andrew, at the beginning when you discussed how you are enabled differently.
Differently enabled. Yeah.
That really helped throughout the thing, because the errors that you made were wonderful. I mean, it was just I didn't have to have any bad feelings about them, So I think everyone should do that, and including myself. I have some similar differences in enablement, and that you said at this point in my life, I consider them a gift.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And really, it's self-preservation, Lee, because if I didn't share that, and frankly, I also share it with every class at the U, because they see me writing on the whiteboard. Well, not lately, everything's virtual, but I do make a lot of mistakes. I put things in the wrong columns. You guys have caught me. Anyway, thank you. I do that out of self-preservation, because I probably would be on the street if I didn't share that I have some interesting challenges. So thank you, Lee. Thank you for starting us off. Who's
I don't
next?
have to share mine. People just have to wonder.
What's that, Lee?
I said, I don't share mine. People just have to wonder about me.
You keep them guessing, huh? Okay, Seth, you're up.
Yeah, so another pro, I really like the collaboration effort here, intention of bringing both mayor, council members and staff together. Makes me feel really good about what we're producing. So that is something we should repeat.
I also
Awesome.
kind of on top of that, I really like the inclusion of the fun activities instead of just all business. Because I guess my motto is, if you can't have fun doing whatever you're doing, it's not worth doing.
Amen to that.
I have one pro.
Okay, Roger.
I certainly appreciated staff being here so they could listen how these goals got set. They'll have a much better idea how to do their work plans, instead of just hearing about it, having it handed to them and say, okay, come up with the work plan. I think that was brilliant to have them here.
Awesome.
And Jenny here, I agree with all those pros. I wish there were a way to get our department directors a little bit more involved and vocal. I mean, I know that they voted, and I was really happy for that. I just wish that they had been a little bit more vocal. I wanted to hear their thoughts a little bit more, and I don't know how that happens. I'm glad they're here, but I'm glad they're here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll just comment on that. I think it's a process for the directors. They haven't been this involved in quite some time. So they just need to get a little bit more used to it, get a little more comfortable with it. But over time, I think they will.
But it's great that we can get that out there on paper. Great. Other cons, other pros.
Time management pro.
I'm sorry, would you say that again, please?
Time management was a pro.
Oh, time management. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to get done a few minutes early, so that's great. And I got to tell you, you guys have been such a pleasure to work with. I just it's been a treat. So I'll just leave it at that.
Andrew, this is Matthew.
Hi, Matt.
It's not a complaint, but I guess it's under cons that it could have helped to address more of our roles. There was a comment about directors not speaking up or something, but I'm not sure that we understood, or at least I'll speak for myself, exactly where we were going and what part staff should play and not play.
Good point.
I did have that. I would just add on the cons, if we could not do this on a Saturday next time, that was a real challenge for me.
For me too. Thank you for saying that, Stacy.
I'd like to add a pro. I do appreciate the lunch. I thought that was a very nice touch. So thanks. And thanks for letting me be involved in this. I'm not usually a part of this. Chief's usually doing it, but it was a great experience for me.
Awesome. Well, great to have you, Fred. Thank you. Great to have you and your contributions.
I really thought the nominal group technique was excellent. We get all the ideas out and then kind of work them through. I think that was really good tool for this meeting.
Great. Thanks, Katrina.
I was going to add to that, Katrina. I agree with the group technique, but also encouraging everybody to speak up before people added extra. It really gave the opportunity for everybody to speak up that wanted to, and made it equitable. It was nice.
Thanks, Brenda.
Following up on the time management, I think it helped to have preemptive input prior to the meeting, and we're not just with the agenda, but the survey and everything, set ourselves up for a better understanding of what we're to expect.
Jeff, I'm sorry. Could you give me that again? Just a short bullet. I'm sorry. The pre-retreat.
I just said preemptive input, but maybe it's better.
Oh, I want to use your words.
I think that helped with time management also.
I'm sure that can't be spelled right. Where's my spelling? Huh. Okay. Great. Any other thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, I appreciated not being muted when I got carried away.
I actually didn't experience anybody getting carried away. And while you did share a lot, several people shared, and I always keep my eyes open for somebody, you know, dominating or kind of taking us off course. I didn't even get an inkling of that. So I'm guessing you're just teasing. So anyway, that's fun. Lee, I think you and I are two birds or where we've got a lot in common, and one of them is self-deprecation. I give myself, my wife says I provide a lot of material.
I think a lot of people would disagree with you as far as I'm concerned.
Funny.
I'm pretty proud of myself once in a while.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. Any last thoughts, pros or cons, before we move on? Okay, great. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go back to our last slide. Okay. So that was great. The department reports, Tony's report on process, and we know that the department directors, that Tracy and Tony will work with the department directors to assemble plans in support of each of these goal categories. And we have several subcategories that will be in the plan. So they'll put the work plans together. They will go to study session, and council will be able to take a look. So before I turn it over to our mayor, I'm just gonna, because again, I don't want the first word or the last word. This is my last word. Well, my real last word is thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is it, what I picked during lunch, because it was the way I was experiencing you. So there was a story going around about the Special Olympics. For the 100-yard dash, there were 9 contestants, all of them so-called physically or mentally disabled. All 9 of them assembled at the starting line, and at the sound of the gun, they took off. But one little boy didn't get very far. He stumbled and he fell and he hurt his knee and he began to cry. The other 8 children heard the boy crying. They slowed down, they turned around, and every one of them ran back to him. The little boy got up, and with the rest of the runners linked arms together, they joyfully walked together to the finish line. They all finished the race at the exact same time. And, you know, when they did, Everyone in the stadium stood up and clapped and whistled and cheered for a long, long time. And you know why? Because deep down, we all know that what really matters in life is more than just winning for ourselves. What really matters is helping others to win too, even if it means slowing down and changing our course now and then. I'm out. Thank you.
Andrew, I love that. I love that epilogue. That was perfect. You know, during the lunch break, or not the lunch break, during the mid-afternoon break, my husband asked me how things were going. And I said, you know, I actually am going to have to fight hard to not be emotional when I give my closing remarks, because I'm really proud of our council and our staff. And I'm so refreshed by how this retreat went. We had some tough conversations, and we had some disagreements, but there was no disrespect that I ever felt, not one time. And that is really, really cool. It's something that I don't think we are used to feeling lately. And so it's just a joy to work with you and for you. And I want to thank Andrew for doing such an amazing job facilitating this retreat. I know there was a lot of apprehension because we haven't had a facilitator before, to my knowledge, maybe years ago in the past, but the last few retreats anyway, there has not been a real structured agenda or a facilitator to kind of help guide us through these really difficult discussions. And so that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to hire somebody to help with this retreat, being that I'm so new at this as mayor, and we have so many new council people, and you know, we have some brand new staff as well, in addition to staff that have been here for a while. And so just such a mix of people and lives and just where we all are at in life. And so I wanted to have this be something that would enable us to accomplish the goals that we wanted to set. And so thank you to council and staff for your civility, for your kindness and your thoughtfulness, for your willingness to play our silly games that I really felt were so important. And I'm glad you liked them. I feel that we did accomplish, I think, almost every goal. And I won't do a thumbs up or thumbs down, but at the beginning of the retreat, what I said that I was hoping we would accomplish is that we would know each other better by the end of the day. I think that's a check. I think we do. That we would have had a lot of laughs. I think we did. That we would come away with a specific set of goals and a vision in mind for the next 2 years and beyond. And I think we have that. And that we feel good about the direction we're going as a team. And I think we have that. So I could be, if I'm wrong on any of those things, let me know and email me, call me, to talk about it. And I can't wait to hear your feedback after the retreat and after we get the report and we start going into these study sessions and really kind of honing in what we've done today. Because as I said, this was a start. This is our launching pad into what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be working over the next couple of years together. But to me, it just felt very positive. Even in the midst of disagreement, we brought it back to agreement and or at least agreeing to disagree and being respectful of each other's opinions and thoughts. And I appreciate all of your thoughts on how we can improve upon this next time around, and that administration can communicate better with staff and encourage them to speak up. And I really appreciate those comments as well. And that you all understand that we are in this brand new process of new trust and building bridges and building trust and reestablishing trust and relationships and new communication styles and all of that. And so it's a lot to kind of throw into one pot, but I think we did a really good job, and I'm really proud of all of us and very happy. I I wanted to thank the public again. I know we had some people join and kind of midstream and some people had to maybe go, but thank you to those that attended that are not part of this immediate group. And please, again, if you have feedback, I'll remind you, just send comments to the mayor and council at gigharborwa.gov email address. And then the last thing is just reminding our prize winners that your gift cards will arrive in the mail this week with a little note. Congratulations to our trivia winners. And just thank you. Just thank you. That's all. That's all I want to end with, is just a big fat thank you. So if anyone has anything they'd like to say, go ahead and shoot. We've got a couple minutes. Otherwise, I guess we'll adjourn. But Tony, do you have anything to add?
Couldn't have said it better, Your Honors. No, I do not.
Okay.
Thank you, Tracy and Tony and Andrew and everybody. This was wonderful. And it actually went really quickly. I was where I'm like, oh my gosh, all day.
I told you it would, did I not?
Yeah, I was hoping it would, and it did.
It was awesome. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for your time. I'm so excited for the year to come and to work with all of you.
Thank you. Ditto. All right. Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you again to Andrew. We'll be in touch with you in the next couple of days or so. And have a wonderful rest of your evening, everybody. Enjoy whatever's left. If there's sun left.
There's some. There's a
little sun. All right. Take good care.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.